Because I didn't have enough fun this weekend, I figure why not get back in front of my camera and let's do this all over again, but in video form. All kidding aside, I want this to be to the point, get you everything you need. So if you've read the comparison, let's break it down now in a video format. Let's show you some comparisons, how to use them and what to expect. What if you choose any of these three options? I'm not here to draw this out all day. I want to cut to the chase. So let's get to it. First things first, I want to address, like I did in the comparison, that I don't believe that all three of these should be in the same comparison. I don't think that it's a fair comparison saying that the Momcozy should go up against either of the chillers head to head because they offer two different things. The Momcozy portable cooler is cooled with two ice packs that need 12 hours in the freezer to go to work in the insulated vertical cooler. The chillers, on the other hand, take ice, loose ice, to help cool the fluids in the opposite chamber. So I want to put that out there. Now let's talk about them individually. Let's start with the Momcozy vertical cooler. So this cooler is designed to hold 20 fluid ounces of liquid between two 10-ounce plastic bottles. The unit weighs in empty at 3 pounds, 2 ounces. When completely full with the 20 ounces of fluid, you're looking at 4 pounds, 7 ounces. It's not light. It's quite large, and I do state that in my comparison, and I really believe it. It's something that I personally wouldn't want to be carrying around, but I do see where it can be super effective. And in my own kitchen, I have seen how it can rapidly cool a fluid down to crazy temperatures. So it is a powerhouse, but you're also carrying a powerhouse. So you've got your cap, you've got this lid, which you're only going to have to dismantle when you need to take the ice packs out to freeze. So 10-ounce bottle, ice pack, another 10-ounce bottle, another ice pack. So when you're just using this regularly, you'll have these frozen, pop them into the cooler, and then you put your lid on. You don't need to take this off again until it's time to freeze the ice packs. The one thing that I would say would be a design flaw, and it's not even something that they can really get around. Well, I suppose if they would make this cap solid, it wouldn't be an issue. Because you have to turn the cooler on its side to slide out the bottle of milk or your fluid, I have found, because I was doing this over and over again on Saturday, I found that I had a little bit of milk at the bottom of my cooler. And the reason for that, the only reason that I can see be the case, is that this, and I had them tight. I definitely locked them down, but I think that some of the milk going in and out just sloshed enough out of this white cap, because this white cap is made to be removed, and then you can pop in a Momcozy nipple. So, and then you could feed it as a bottle, which is a great design. It's not uncommon to see, but I think being applied into something that needs to be on its side to be removed repeatedly throughout the day isn't in everyone's best interest. To wrap up the Momcozy portable breast milk cooler, I would say it's a very powerful unit. There is no doubt in my mind that this thing goes to work and stays to work. That I think right there is what it's all about. It goes to work and then it holds it for a long time because you've got two very effective 360 degrees of cooling inside of a well-insulated cooler. One thing I will say, if you do travel with this, I would just suggest that you don't travel with it horizontal, only based on my experience over the weekend with turning it to its side every couple of hours. I did have a little residual milk that pulled at the bottom. I would just hate that you lose a little more milk than I did. Ultimately, though, it is very effective. It's not really my speed. It is large and it is heavy, but it is super effective. So now on to the chillers. So these guys are different because it is a 2-chamber system. So many times I'll get the message, can't I just use a Stanley? And to that I say, no, it's not going to work the same, because with this you're getting 2 different chambers. By that I mean you've got an inner chamber and outer chamber. One's going to take the ice and the other is going to hold what you want to cool. And you can use it either way for max capacity or reduced capacity. So let's break it down really quick. This is the Ceres chiller. You've got the cap that sits on the inner chamber, that it's the adapter, so it comes apart in 2 pieces. And then of course the cap that will keep this contained. I'm going to flip that upside down there. And then of course you've got the outer chamber, which when used together at full capacity, you have 27 ounces in the outer chamber. Now for the Boon Frosh, you've got a similar design. Well, the same design. You've got 14 ounces of storage in the outer chamber, and then you've got this handle that screws into this one piece. This does not come apart. So you've got this guy, which I cannot sit upside down to work with my milk single-handedly. So I will say, and that's why you saw me doing this all weekend long, because I didn't want my chamber to touch my countertop. So I'm home. It's not the end of the world. I can grab a glass. If I am out traveling, tell me how I am going to make a bottle, work with my breast pump, put things away, do what I have to, put my milk in my chiller without allowing and ensuring that my chamber isn't going to touch something filthy. I said it from the very beginning. As soon as I took this apart and I started working with it, the lights went off and I knew immediately that this was its biggest downfall. On the other side, it goes to work really fast because you have a huge difference in volume ratio. You've got 27 ounces of fluid on the outside chamber with a 12-ounce inner chamber capacity to chill that fluid. And then here you've got 14 ounces and then a 10 ounce. You've got immediate contact, you've got less volume to cool and larger volume to do the cooling. So you have a very fast cooling rate, which is great, but then you got this. So for me, in my opinion, and I know everyone knows that I love Ceres Chill, but I really do believe that this, even though it may take a little longer to chill your milk because you are chilling a larger volume with a 12-ounce inner chamber, you are still within the guidelines of safe milk storage. So in my opinion, yeah, they did a good job at figuring out how to chill your breast milk or your fluid very rapidly, but I don't think it's necessary. And I've already had people that have agreed with me, not from Ceres Chill, but people from the community who have said, I would rather max capacity at 27 ounces of fluid and continuously chilling my milk in a safe range rather than going to work immediately and then having the risk of melting my ice, because with that quick transfer, I have found that the ice melts faster in the Boon. So all feelings aside, they did fine. Like they did figure out how to get that transfer of heat to the milk to chill it like instantly. They did a good job on that, but they completely missed the mark when they put this fancy, cute little handle on the inner chamber. And another thing that I have been thinking about while I've been playing with these and using them and testing them is I am not a huge fan of having this handle as the actual closure for the inner chamber. I could be overthinking this. You may disagree, and this is not me trying to take a jab at Boon by any means, but I get worried about things loosening. And if I'm walking and swinging with this thing as a solid piece, and I did do this actually on Saturday, I went to unscrew it and I unscrewed the wrong end. Luckily, I was just in my kitchen. I put it back together and kept going. But I was like, what if that happened while I was out? So you have to grip the middle chamber to pull that out. And if this thing came loose off of the inner chamber, I could have, I mean, it does seat, but I'm just saying if it came loose, there would be a big problem because it's not the best design. It's not. They did what they can to get in the market. I'll give them that, but there's definitely a few flaws to this chamber. So to wrap up the Boon chiller, I'm not a huge fan of it. I think that it does work. I'll say that openly. It does work. I watched it work, but I also, while testing it for 48 hours, I also had a ton of dirty glasses because every time I had to test the inside temperature, I needed to put this somewhere. And when I've been traveling with the Ceres Chill, I absolutely flip it upside down so I can pull my cups out of my bra. I can empty my cups in here. I do flip this guy upside down often enough to know that it is an option that I need with a chiller. Okay, now quickly on to the Ceres Chill. The Ceres Chill again holds 27 ounces of fluid on the outer chamber, 12 on the inside. And as you just learned, I am a huge fan of the fact that you can flip this upside down. It's very common that I get the message, Kristen, how do you handle this chiller and the inner chamber so you don't contaminate the inside chamber? Into that, I say you can just handle the containers, the adapter, and the cup and just set it down and not have to worry about it. You don't have to touch the inner chamber ever. Once you assemble it, have clean hands, assemble it, put it together, and that is all you have to do for the rest of the time that you're going to be using this assembly. Everyone already knows how to use a Ceres chiller, or a chiller for that matter. You put liquid in one side, ice in the other, let it go to work, and then have cooling indefinitely as long as you're using it the proper way, right? So what you don't see for face value is what else you can do with the Ceres chiller. And in my opinion, this is honestly where I feel it always reigns superior. So you've got a couple pieces here, and whether you're using the Demi Goddess, which is a smaller Ceres chiller version, or you're using this guy, the OG, all the parts are interchangeable. So it's really cool. You're not only stuck with using what it came with, you can interchange the pieces. Another thing you can do with all the pieces included with your original purchase, if you need to pump, you can pump into the inner chamber. You can add another flange into the inner chamber, and now you can pump into that. Take the adapter into the cap, and you can double pump. So you can single pump, double pump. Once you're done pumping, you can take the adapter off and you can add a narrow neck collar, and you can use it as a bottle. You can get the attachments, makes this a water bottle. You can get an attachment that will make the inner chamber a baby sippy cup. You can use a tea steeper. They've got tons of attachments that will help you use their product long after you're done breastfeeding. So for me, if it's something that you want to support and something that you are interested in just practicing in your everyday life, is just like not throwaway items and like one and dones, this is great because you can use it indefinitely. I always joke I'm going to get buried with all my Ceres chillers. So that is something that I really respect and like about this. I think that sums it up between the comparison. Seeing these, one last thing I should add before we call it a day: the Ceres chiller, when it's empty, is 1 pound 3.5 ounces, compared to the Boon empty at 1 pound. When full to capacity, you're 3 pounds 1.5 ounces. When it is full, you're at 2 pounds 4 ounces. So just rambling them off right down the list, you're from weight heaviest to lightest. So interestingly enough, the Ceres Chill has the highest capacity, and it's the middle of the road for weight. So 27 ounce full capacity when using the 2-chamber system, and then when full to the 27 ounces and the ice in the inner chamber, you're talking 3 pounds 1.5 ounces. And between the comparison in this video, I hope that helps solidify or guide you in the right direction to which unit best suits your everyday needs.